In less than 24 hours, the three men convicted of federal hate crimes in the murder of Ahmaud Arbery will find out their sentence. And this will mark the first federal hate crime sentencing ever in the state of Georgia. And all attention will be intense as to how all this will unfold in the courtroom. Nobody knows where that will go or how it will transpire. 11 Alive's Don White joins us now in the studio with what our legal analyst believes will happen come Monday.
Well, Jeff, those three men, they are already sentenced on state charges to life for the murder. The recommended federal sentence is also a life term, and that's on top of those state charges.
This is where the three men convicted of murdering Ahmaud Arbery will likely spend the rest of their lives.
So you're looking at potentially very, very lengthy sentences.
Travis and Gregory McMichaels want to stay in federal prison.
They're not going to a Martha Stewart type camp, even if they're allowed to go to federal prison.
Their lawyer says they don't want to go to state prison because they're afraid they'll be killed.
You've got severe staff shortages. You have violence, inmate on inmate attacks, inmate on guard attacks. You even have guard on inmate attacks.
11 Alive legal analyst Paige Pate says it's unusual for inmate deaths to happen in state prison, but does believe the three men could be targets.
Given both the nature of the crime, their convictions, and all of the evidence that we heard during the trials, the racial hatred, the language, not to mention what actually happened to Ahmaud Arbery.
Pate says it's unlikely they won't be transferred to state prison after Monday's federal sentencing.
What happens in a situation like this when someone's first been charged in state court and then they have federal charges brought against them is that the state loans them to federal court until their federal case is finished, and then they take them back.
Pate believes federal prosecutors want to send a clear message going forward. Actions like the McMichaels and Bryan won't be tolerated.
So I think the message that this sends is that this current Department of Justice is very focused on prosecuting hate crimes, even if people have been prosecuted previously in the state system.
The McMichaels were not given the possibility of parole on their state sentence. Bryan does have the opportunity for parole in this state, but if he's given a life sentence in federal court, it won't matter because there is no parole in the federal system.
How about Paige Pate? What is his take on how the father and son do not die in prison? I mean, is there any way that they're out of the situation that they're in?
Well, Jeff, he did say there is one situation, and that is if they win an appeal, which he expects their lawyers to do immediately after sentencing. Pate believes it is highly unlikely an appeal will be successful unless there are some kind of legal errors.
All right, Dawn, thanks for the information. Stay with us here at 11 Alive for complete coverage of Monday's federal sentencing on 11alive.com.